Welcome back. Today, I'm bringing you a detailed recap of Fallout Season 1. Before we start, I want to thank you for subscribing and like. Let's dive in. In this world, technological progress advanced much faster than in ours, and some technologies became far more sophisticated, yet society itself remained stuck in the 1950s. The world stood on the brink of nuclear war. The Vault-Tec Corporation exploited people's fear. They built more than 100 shelters across America and launched a large-scale advertising campaign. One day, the bombs finally began to fall. People rushed to their vaults. On the surface, almost everyone died, and those who survived were doomed to suffer in the wasteland. 219 years pass. Vault 33 prospers. Nearby are Vaults 31 and 32. There are passages between them, but you can't just move around freely. Everything is strictly regulated. Over the years, the vaults have exchanged resources and personnel when needed. The main heroine, Lucy McLean, is supposed to marry a resident of Vault 32. The gate opens, the guests arrive, but soon it turns out they're raiders from the surface. A massacre begins, though the survivors manage to fight back. The leader of the attackers, a woman named Lee, kidnaps Lucy's father, Hank, and retreats into Vault 32, blowing the passage behind her. Lucy tries to convince everyone they must go to the surface and bring her father back. He was the vault's overseer, but no one supports her. So she persuades her brother Norm and ex-boyfriend Chet to help open the door and sets off to find him. On the surface operates a militarized organization, the Brotherhood of Steel. Their goal is to collect pre-war technology and keep it out of ordinary hands. Maximus joined the Brotherhood as a child and has trained as a soldier ever since. He learns that his friend Dane has become a squire, an assistant to a knight in power armor. Maximus is jealous. The next morning, someone plants a blade in her boot. Dane is disqualified. Suspicion falls on Maximus, but Elder Quintus appoints him squire anyway. Maximus and a knight are sent to find a scientist who fled the Enclave, carrying technology that could give the Brotherhood control over the wasteland. They board a vertibird and take off. The knight gets bored, lands, and treats Maximus like trash. Then a mutant bear attacks and badly wounds the knight. Maximus decides the knight doesn't deserve the armor, lets him die, dons the exoskeleton himself, and continues the mission. The mysterious scientist is Wilzig. He worked for the Enclave, what remains of the US government. Wilzig steals a puppy from a lab and uses it in a makeshift power generation rig. Years later, he creates a tiny device and implants it in his neck. The lab is exposed, and he flees with the dog. A bounty is placed on his head, the hunt begins. A group of bounty hunters digs up a coffin and pulls out a ghoul named Cooper Howard. Ghouls are extremely hardy and hard to kill, but over time they lose their minds and go feral. A special drug helps them keep their sanity. Cooper, who has lived since the bombs fell, is the best bounty hunter around. Learning the target, he kills his rescuers and goes after Wilzig himself. Lucy arrives in the town of Philly looking for information about Lee. Lee is influential, and no one wants to talk. Lucy accidentally runs into Wilzig. He advises her to go back to her vault. The surface isn't for her. Cooper appears and tries to take the scientist. A scuffle breaks out, and Maximus bursts in wearing power armor, but due to inexperience, he loses to the 2-century-old hunter. Wilzig, mortally wounded, asks Lucy to deliver him to a specific place. He's already taken poison and asks her to cut off his head. That's where the thing everyone wants is hidden. Lucy cuts off the head, hides a tracker inside, and moves on. At a body of water, a giant mutant attacks Lucy and swallows the head. Cooper catches up to her and tries to use her as bait, but the plan fails. He needs meds to avoid going feral and sells Lucy to organ traders. She manages to free herself, forces them to open all the cages. The feral ghouls rush out and kill the owners. Lucy returns Cooper's drugs and heads out again to retrieve the scientist's head. Maximus repairs his armor and radios command, but afraid to admit the knight is dead, pretends to be him. He hopes that by finding the scientist, he'll earn forgiveness. A new squire, Thaddeus, is sent to him. Together, they follow the ghouls' radioactive trail to a lake, where the same monster attacks them. Maximus kills it, and the creature spits out the scientist's head. Thaddeus learns the truth about Maximus and threatens to tell the Brotherhood. Maximus breaks his leg and tries to finish him off, but Thaddeus yanks the fusion core from the armor and escapes with the head. Later, Lucy finds Maximus, hauls him out of the dead suit, he gives her anti-radiation meds, and together they continue the hunt. They come upon a vast crater where the city of Shady Sands once stood, Maximus's hometown and the capital of the new California Republic. It had law and order once, but someone nuked it. Cannibals attack. Maximus is wounded. Lucy finds a well-preserved hospital, but it's a trap. They wake up in Vault 4. The locals accept people from the surface, but Lucy notices oddities. Some survivors are mutated, and newcomers worship Lee. She sneaks to a forbidden 12th floor and finds a lab. Years ago, scientists there experimented on pregnant women, creating monsters. Nearby are hibernation pods with several women. Lucy tries to escape, wounds a scientist, is caught, and told the truth. Vault 4 was originally staffed by scientists. The experiments really did happen, but have long since ceased, and the women in pods are kept alive because killing them is deemed inhumane. Lucy is exiled from the vault, and Maximus, who actually liked it there, leaves with her. Thaddeus, with a broken leg, looks for a way to contact the Brotherhood and hand over the head. Realizing he might die from the injury, he stumbles on a strange doctor. The doctor gives him a drug, the leg heals before his eyes, and takes the fusion core as payment. Thaddeus reaches a radio tower and calls the Brotherhood. At that moment, Lucy and Maximus find him. Thaddeus carelessly triggers a trap and is struck in the neck by a dart. He doesn't die. He has become a ghoul. Knowing the Brotherhood will kill him, he flees, leaving the head behind. Maximus gives it to Lucy. He has fallen in love with her over the journey. He himself grabs a random head and returns to base. Quintus realizes it's the wrong head and that the knight is dead, but sees potential in Maximus and gives him another chance. Learning from him where Lucy headed, an entire Brotherhood squad moves out. Meanwhile, in Vault 33, Lucy's brother Norm suspects something is off about the Raider incursion. With Chet, he digs out the blown passage to Vault 32 and discovers the people there died years ago, as if they went mad and killed each other over some secret tied to Vault 31. The Raiders open the door from outside using Norm's late mother's key. How is that possible? It means she once left the vault. Soon, Norm learns that all overseers over the years were transferred from Vault 31. The new overseer decides to resettle Vault 32. People are sent in. The place has already been cleaned. No trace of the massacre. Half the population is transferred there, and a young woman, Stephanie, who arrived a few years ago from Vault 31, is made the new overseer. Norm sneaks into the command section and opens the gateway to Vault 31. There he meets the local overseer, a brain in a jar, and sees hundreds of hibernation pods with sleepers inside. The overseer says Norm now knows too much and won't be allowed to leave. Lucy reaches the settlement where she was supposed to deliver the scientist's head. She meets Lee and sees her father Hank in a cage. Lee agrees to the exchange, but first explains who Hank is and why the head matters. Wilzig created a cold fusion device, essentially an infinite energy source. Hank knows the activation code. In fact, he was born more than 200 years ago. We see the past of Ghoul Cooper. He was an actor, and his wife Barb held a senior position at Vault-Tec. At her request, Cooper starred in the corporation's advertising. Colleagues despised him, believing Vault-Tec was bringing nuclear war closer. Lee asks Cooper to spy on his wife and find out what the company is really doing. He plants a bug and overhears a secret meeting of top corporate leaders. Barb proposes investing in vault construction. Each backer will be allowed to create bunkers with any conditions and experiments they want. Then, she states the corporation itself will detonate bombs in America to trigger nuclear war worldwide. The leadership will be placed in cryo, and when the time comes, they'll emerge, lead the people, and build a new world. Cooper is shocked. In the room, he also sees a young Hank, Lucy's future father. In the present, Cooper goes to Lee to learn what happened to his wife and child after the apocalypse. Lee continues. Vault-Tec has long known about cold fusion, and Hank has the access codes. Years ago, Lucy and Norm's mother learned who he really was, fled with the children, and met Lee. They settled in Shady Sands, the capital of the new California Republic, where Lee was the leader. Hank found them, took the children, and dropped an atomic bomb on the city. The mother died. At that moment, the Brotherhood attacks the NCR base, breaking into the command center to seize the cold fusion device. On the way, they run into Cooper. He easily takes out the soldiers. Maximus finds Lucy and learns her father nuked Shady Sands. He wants to kill Hank, but Hank puts on power armor and knocks him out. Cooper arrives, wanting to ask Hank where his family is, but Hank escapes. Lucy asks why Cooper let him go. He says it's easier to track where Hank heads than to torture him now. He invites Lucy to come with him. She agrees. They're joined by the scientist's dog, which has popped up throughout the season. Mortally wounded, Lee returns to the command center and activates the cold fusion reactor, supplying all of Los Angeles with power, then dies. Brotherhood soldiers burst in, believing Maximus killed Lee and retrieved the device for them. Meanwhile, Hank reaches New Vegas. End of Season 1. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dive recaps. I'd love to hear your favorite scene or character from Fallout in the comments. Until next time, stay tuned.